If Opetaia was to move to heavyweight today, who should he fight first, assuming he doesn't have a tick over against the lower ranked heavyweight?
If who? Opetaia?
Yeah. Which could happen. I would say, who should Opetaia fight next?
What, as in terms of you've got to prove yourself to go in there against a name?
Kabayal. Why not? Hit the ground running.
1 second, you've given him the third best heavyweight.
I think he's good enough.
I would say, I think he's good enough. I'd say Hrgovic beats Adelaide. I think that's a big enough name.
That's actually good. That's a good show.
Let's not kill him. I think that's a big enough name.
Hrgovic could end up being a harder fight than, you never know, than Kabayal.
Those are the words of Gman Boxing and a Day on the green chair, in the green chair. And let me counterpunch. I think people need to understand, like, the Kabayal, the third biggest or the third best heavyweight. Keep in mind, undefeated fighters, it's hard to say where a fighter is right now. I mean, he's only third because he hasn't proven to be second or first. You know what I'm saying? And when you're talking about overall challenges or accomplishments, because he's taken out 3 of his last opponents, and they have all been hard opponents, Kabayal. So he's probably had the hardest road of anybody. 2 undefeated fighters. And these undefeated fighters were fighters that were there. Arslan Markmadov was like a step or two, before getting a Tyson Fury fight, because Tyson was talking about fighting someone like that. He took him out. Frank Sanchez, Cuban Flash, I know besides the knee injury, he was still a good, formidable opponent. Took him out. Zili Big Bang Zhang knocking out, dethroning the juggernaut, and dropping Joe Parker, and knocking out Deontay Wilder. He took him out. Putting Jai Opetaia from heavyweight directly into a Kabayal fight not only is unfair, it's pushing it. Why? Because if you want him to follow the footsteps of Alexander Usyk, then why would you put him in there with Kabayal? You know what I'm saying? It's just like, I don't get it. I mean, even at the time, and I know that was about 5 years ago when Usyk did come to the heavyweight division, well, when he did fight Derek Chisora, Derek Chisora wasn't on the level that Kabayal is now. You know what I'm saying? I think that would be pushing it. I mean, I think they're expecting too much of Jai Opetaia, I do agree more with a Day with the comparison of choices like Hrgovic, because Hrgovic is big, but Hrgovic is deemed to show bad habits, with his training and his defense. He's a pretty good fighter, but, like G-Man said, I mean, it could end up being a tougher fight. But Kabayal is a beast, bro. Don't put him in there with someone that is aiming and deserving of the heavyweight title. We know what we want from Jai Opetaia. Jai Opetaia knows what he wants, but to push something to that extreme that rapidly is insane. That's just that, that's a high expectation of Jai Opetaia. If you throw Jai Opetaia in there against Kabayal now, I think he would be stunning progress. You know what I'm saying? I don't even think that would be the right call. But no, but that's crazy, though, for Jai Opetaia to fight Kabayal right now. Especially going to the heavyweight division because, he has to acclimate first. Usyk got that opportunity, so should Jai. Jai is a guy that never fought at heavyweight. I mean, he's a big guy, cruiserweights are not small men, but at the same time, they're not heavyweights either. So they have to properly get the opportunity to acclimate, just like Alexander Usyk or anybody else. Evander Holyfield or Chris Bird or, or Roy Jones even though Roy Jones jumped to that point, and then fought for the championship. But, of course, that's Roy Jones, and he never came back to the heavyweight division. That may be a mistake that he needs to deal with. However, no, I do think wholeheartedly that Jai Opetaia needs and deserves a tune-up first, before going into that weight class. However, saying all that to say this, he still needs to fulfill his dreams and aspirations and duties at the cruiserweight division, especially if he wants to follow Alexander Usyk, because that's a tough ask anyway, and that's a tough route to climb or to follow behind. But you guys tell me what you think of Gman in a day, and then their decision and their thoughts on who should Jai Opetaia challenge when he comes to heavyweight. Of course, please subscribe. You guys been counterpunch.